Okay, so today I'm going to implement an enemy character called a henchman that I did. I made some animations for. First, I need to figure out, after trying to remember how I created the character. Let's see. I believe 2D object sprite. Was it a square? Call it a henchman. First, I need to the cropped images. I'm going to select all of them. Pixels per unit is 48. Filter mode is point no filter, and compression is none. Forgot to create folder for animations. Okay, I think this is wrong. 2D object. Actually, I'll just use that. Okay, I'm going to go to animation. With this selected, I'm going to create. This one's going to be idle. I'll stretch it out to 1 second. And it's really big. Oh, the player is 0.2. So I'm going to make the henchman 0.2. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to create a new clip. It's going to be called walk. And just these ones here, drag and drop. Okay, so this I can throw back down here. Here. I'm going to delete both of these. And create new entry. selected, I'm going to create 2 motion fields. I'll create 3. This one's going to be okay. I have to check down here because I have 2 idols. One's the henchman, the other one's main character, so I want the henchman, the walk, and I don't have a run, so I'll just put a walk for now. And instead of calling, I'll create another float called X direction. Actually, what do I have for player? X velocity. X velocity. I'll create another one called Y velocity. I don't think I'll be needing it right now. I'm not even sure if I'll be needing it, period, but I'll just make it anyways. And I'm going to set this to X velocity, so the left and right movement. I'm not going to worry about him moving levels, like going from like the bottom floor to second floor or anything like that. Unless there's like a ramp. In that case, I don't have to really. I'll worry about that later. For now, it's just left and right movement on a flat surface. So with that done, need to get a box collider 2D, rigid body. Okay. Rigid body. Make sure freeze rotation. Oh wait. Rigid body 2D. Freeze rotation in the Z. I know why he's not appearing. There we go. So it has to have one default image, even though it's not going to show up in the game. And box collider 2D. And look at the player, it's somewhere in the middle, and it's touching the top of his head and the bottom of his feet. I'm going to do the same thing here. Oh, I can actually move him. That's interesting. Anyways, I need to create a script. henchman movement. I'll open that up. Okay, let's go back here. So I'm going to drag and drop the script so I don't forget. And I want to try and, well, I have to make sure that, okay, he's at 0 in the Z, which is the same distance as the player. I'm going to put him all the way over here because I only want him to move when the player is a certain distance from him. So first thing I need to do is public game object player, reference player. I've got some really good documentation, so I'm going to use this. I'm not sure if this is going to work. How to get a distance between 2 points but on just one axis. So what I'm doing here is a vector 2. I'm creating a vector 2. So I'm taking the position of the henchman minus the position of the player, which gives me the vector 2. And the distance in x is the difference, like this, difference dot x, and distance in y is the difference in y. So I'm getting the absolute value, so there's no plus or negative signs, just the absolute distance. So with that, for now I'm only going to use distance in x if distance in x is greater than 20. I'm not sure if that's a good value. I'll adjust it later. Then actually I'll start with smaller. Else if distance in x is greater or equal to 20, then I'll start moving. I'm also going to do another value where he's like really close, but I don't want him touching. So once he's a certain distance to the player, he's going to stop moving. So Let's put 2 for now. Else if distance in x is greater or equal to 2, I've got all this backwards. It's greater, smaller or equal to, greater than 2, and smaller, oops. Okay. I have another piece of documentation here. What's going on? Transformed opposition. Try this one instead. I actually don't want this y value. Let's see what happens if I get rid of it. Oh, I know. Instead of putting the player's y, I'll just keep the henchman's y. So he's not trying to find, he's not trying to follow the player's y. He's just keeping his own. Speed, I don't know, so I'll just put 5. So for these other ones, I don't know if that that does anything. Transform dot position equals itself. I have no clue. Let's see what that does. Okay, so in the henchman script, I have to make sure I drag and drop the player into this field here. So I'm just going to hit play. Okay, so it seems like it works, but I can't really tell if he's really going after me when I'm within this distance. Maybe it's hard to see because maybe the 20 is such a big number. So I'll change it to 5. Oops. Oh, okay, so 5 is too small. Let me try 10. Actually, I'm going to make this second value bigger. He seems like he keeps on coming to me until he's touching me, which I don't want. Or not touching me, he's overlapping me. I don't want him to overlap me too much. So he only comes to me. That's a good distance, I think. So I have to deal with the flip. So I'm just going to pause here for a second. Okay, so I think I figured out a solution for his flipping, because right now he's looking right the entire time. So I'll quickly explain. So let's just say I'm not sure if this is a good way to do it. I'm a left-handed guy with a right mouse, but I'm going to try writing with my right hand. So let's just say the henchman. Let's just say he's standing 3 units. Let's say 3 units from the right. Okay. And then the player can either be, let's just say, for argument, he can be 1, or he can be 5 units, for example. If, because the z-axis is positive facing right and negative this way, so following that, if I go the position of the henchman, which is 3, minus 1, then you get 2, as to where if the player were standing ahead of him, then again you would start with 3, minus 5 equals minus 2. But, so whenever the value is a minus, that means he's facing forward, which is a positive. If the value is positive, then he's facing in the negative direction. So it's flipped. So if this is positive, this is negative. If this is negative, then this is positive. So with that logic, I'm going to use this value right here, difference x. So here I calculated the difference between the henchman and the player. Now I'm going to grab the difference, not the absolute. This is the absolute. If I get the difference x, and I say if difference dot x is smaller than 0, then transform dot local scale equals 1. So if it's smaller than 0, it's a negative value. So therefore, it needs to the local scale needs to be positive 1. Why is it? Oh. Maybe I need to do this first. Okay, so I need to create a vector 3 first, called, I can just do vector 2, called local scale, or ls, and the ls dot x equals 1f, else if difference dot x is greater than 0, then ls dot x equals minus 1. I'll just do another one, else if difference dot x equals 0, then ls dot x equals ls dot x. So it doesn't change. I forgot to put two equal signs. Let's see if that works. So by default he's facing right. And he should be facing left now. But he's not. Okay, so it actually works now. What I did wrong was, well, first of all, instead of putting the x value of 0.2, I put 1. But as you can see, the scale, I put it to 0.2 for all of them. So the x has to be 0.2 or negative 0.2. And I was also missing this piece of code right here. After I set the x value, then have to reset the entire transform scale, which is this entire thing, x, y, and z. So I was only, for some reason, just setting the ls.x doesn't do anything. This is the thing that makes it work. So if I go now, I don't know why it does that. Okay. So he's facing me, moving towards me, but if I jump over him, then he switches, which is perfect. Now, the only thing I need to do is I need to add the animations. So if distance is smaller or equal to 10 and greater than 3, then I'll go animator dot set float. The animator has to be lowercase. I believe it was called x velocity is 0.5f. I forgot to put the animator. Public animator dot, and in the start function, I'll just put animator equals get component animator. If, however, he's greater than 10 units away, then this could be 0, And it can also be 0, meaning it could be the idle animation when he's also smaller or equal to 3 units. So compile that. Okay, that's good. So when he's 3 units, he stops. He doesn't walk anymore. If I jump over him, it's perfect. Okay, that's good enough. I think that's good enough for this video. So obviously I want to do more stuff like when he's close to the player, then maybe he can throw punches or something, and maybe the player can throw punches back. And I also need to be able to deal damage and play like the death animations for both characters. Yeah, I want to stop it there. I could probably do more, but yeah, I'll just save it for the next video. So thanks for tuning in. Okay.